Well, we're back again this week. Today is going to be a hot one, Johnny. What you think?
It's already hot outside.
Do you know I was up at 4 o'clock this morning and it was 80 degrees already? Huh? Turn your mic up.
That's it. I thought I did have. So we're going to get our summer in September and October.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it, but I think it's only going to be good for one day, which is fine with me because, 90 degrees is not my cup of things. So anyways, today I have with me Miss Barbara Colt. Welcome,
Hello.
Barbara.
Hello.
And she has a consignment shop called Indepanda. I got it right.
Yes, yes.
And you told me that was Swahili and it means...
It means I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Yes.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about Indepanda. How did you come up with that name and why did you want to open a consignment shop?
Well, I guess you could say it was a dream that I've always really wanted to do. I think the problem was coming up with a name at the time when we did that. And we had came up with several other names, and all of those names had been taken from one time to another. So, and I thought about Indepanda. Indepanda is an African name that was given to me a few years ago by a close friend. And it means I'm happy, and I think that was, well, I suppose nobody has that name.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
It's hard to say sometimes.
Exactly, it takes a little practice, but Indepanda means I'm happy, and that's why I came up with that name.
Now, from what I see from going to consignment shops around the area, you're the only minority-owned one. You think that's right?
I think there is some other consignment shops too,
but they're not minority owned.
Well, I yeah, probably so.
Yeah,
probably so.
That's what I'm thinking
so.
Because I always go to one on the other side of town, and there was a couple other ones that just sold like furniture and stuff, and there's one out in Fenton that sold a lot of stuff like that.
Exactly.
Now, what makes your shop more unique that you think than the other shops, or you think they're all pretty much the same?
Well, I came up with this because I thought the women in Genesee County and around the areas, I think that they deserve the high end. I mean, where you don't have to go to the Macy's and the TJ Maxx's. You can, get the same quality of clothing through Independas, and this is the area that we try to serve, the ladies that really is in the out working, have jobs, and they can't afford to do the things that we used to do when we were working. So I'm saying this is a nice niche, and we kind of looked at the area, and we just figured that this is the way to go. And I think it's been very lucrative. We have a lot of church ladies. We have a lot of, I think we're really just really diverse as far as women are concerned because of the things that we offer. So we offer the high end, and we have some casuals and accessories for women. And we've had a good response from it.
Okay. Now, how long have you been in your location? And tell everybody where you're located.
I'm located at 5008 Flushing Road. This is in Flushing, Michigan, and it's right there on the corner of Flushing and Linden. That actually, I probably should say that the driveway is off Linden Road.
Yeah.
It's not on Flushing.
I passed it so many times.
Exactly. And we have that a lot. From people say, "Oh, I had to go turn around and come back." But that's the same way I ended up finding that shop. There was a boutique there for like 12 years before I opened up. So actually, we're getting a lot of those customers that was going into the boutique.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
So they haven't just said, well, they're gone, you know.
Exactly. We have a lot of their customers that still come through. Yes.
Now, tell everybody what is the process of consignment?
Well, the process is it's very easy, but you got to get it.
Right.
We're close to our 200 mark as far as consigners right now, and I think Genesee County is ready for consigners. So it's a process that you come in and you consign your items. We do all the pricing. And we also, we all find out from our customers if they have some things that, a certain price that they would like to get for it. I don't mind getting that information from them.
Right.
But all in all, we have to price things according to our clientele.
Right.
And our clientele kind of warrant the high end and so forth. So we keep these items for 60 days or longer, and you can come back and pick them up after the 60 days is over. I don't know, is there any other things? You just basically, the clothes have to be cleaned and up to date. I mean, that's basically where no more than 2 years old.
So if I brought in some of my stuff from the 80s,
we would call that
styles
vintage.
Are back. Yeah, those are vintage.
Oh yeah. And we do have a vintage area in our store, so there are some things that people are going to always wear, whether they're vintage or not.
Because they recycle. I see a lot of young people wearing stuff that I wore, in the 70s, and they're loving it. And I'm looking at it going, I used to dress like
yes, exactly. Exactly.
So now, what is the split for your shop? What is the if I brought in some, what would my split be?
The split is 60-40. 60 goes to the shop, and simply because we have to do the advertising and get the things on the shelves and on hangers. We do ask that the customer, the consigner, do bring in their things that's already cleaned and on hangers.
Is there a limit of things you can bring each time?
At first, we did have a limit of 15 items, and it depends on what season it's in at that point, and whether or not we have a lot of those items already in the store. So sometimes we will have people to take their things back. Say like denim. Denim is something that everybody wears.
That's year round.
Year round, exactly. But sometimes you can get a lot of it. So
yeah.
That would be sometimes that we would say turn things away.
And sometimes fall stuff is like lightweight sweaters versus the winter sweaters.
Exactly.
So you'll have to know. So do you have all that written out so that people know what season they're working in, so they know what to bring?
Oh yeah. We have it down by the month. Like right now, what we're coming up on is the fall clothes. We're trying to really get rid of our summer clothes now.
Yeah.
So they are highly discounted. Right now, we have a color tag sale that we have. In fact, this make the third time we did that. And probably later on, like at the end of October, we may take those percentages even a little higher.
Right.
Which right now, I think they're up to 70% off. And
what about purses? I don't need the purses. I'm terrible. Any store I go in, I think I hold right into the purses, and all I can think about is, oh, my son is going to kill me.
I tell you, I wasn't a purse girl either until I got into this business. But most of the ladies that I know, they love a good purse, and they never can have too many of them.
Never can have too many purses.
Yes, same way about shoes.
My son's always on me about jewelry and purses. He tells me when I get my Macy's coupons and Kohl's coupons, he'd be like, "They're not your friend."
Exactly.
So now, what happens to your items after your 60 days? Because I know some places you have the option of coming back and picking them up, or they donate them to charity.
Yes. Well, this is what we do. At first, we started out where we would donate in their name, but that got a little bit much for a small business. So what we're asking our customers to do now, after the 60 days, they have 15 days to pick up those garments, because a lot of them do have churches and things that they belong to, and they take them and give them to the church. So which is fine. But they have those 15 days to come back and pick them up after the 60 days. We have a lot of things that after that, then we can donate them, and we'll donate them, but we'll donate them from the shop.
Right.
Actually, if you leave them there, they will belong to Independence.
Right. Because that's why one good thing I like about them, because every year I have an annual yard sale, and I always have a lot of clothes. And so after you go through the clothes and you take them to the consignment shop and you get them a little money there, and then after that they donate them to charity, which is good because I don't want to have to go back and pick them up. Exactly. You know, it's a headache to search through the whole store to find your stuff.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm just like, no, because I'm going to end up donating them. So I think it's a convenience for, to just go ahead and donate them. And it was funny because I was at St. Vincent de Paul. They used to have a 99-cent bag sale. You could go in and just fill up a bag for 99 cents. So I went in there one day. I was ready to fill up my 3 bags. And don't you know, I ran up on my jacket. A jacket that I had donated. I had taken to consignment, and they donated it. And I knew it was my jacket because it was like, I have a lot of unique stuff. And when I looked at it, I just started laughing to myself, going, that's my jacket.
That's lovely.
Like, what are the odds of me running into my stuff all the way over there?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I know. So now when you started your business, you said this was a dream of yours. Did you have other businesses?
Well, yeah. I mean, not businesses, personal business, but I retired from the state of Michigan as a sergeant at arms, and I did that for like 30 years.
What's a sergeant of arms?
Sergeant at arms was where we kept order on the house floor.
Oh, you
when
mean
the
you
house
was
in session?
Like the state of Michigan?
The state of Michigan, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And after that 30 years ended, I was already living in Flint, but I was commuting from Flint to Lansing. And after that episode, I retired in 2003, and I started working as a manager at Graceland Cemetery. And I did that for like 5 years.
That sounds kind of creepy to me.
It was an experience. It was really an experience. But, it's almost like you didn't really realize what you just went through. You retired, but it didn't mean nothing really, because that wasn't me, the one that retired. Yeah, but I think I was lucky because now I can do some other things that I like doing. Right. And one of those things was, like you mentioned earlier, that I was having rummage sales at the same time with a job. Right. And the rummage sales was fine. I mean, every year, I'd do it. One year I had it, and I stayed up all year long. I just put up a tent outside.
Just come on through.
I just come on through, and everybody knew me from those rummage sales. So after this building became available, I was already shopping there at the other boutique, and when she was telling me that they were leaving, it was going out of business, I'm like, well, maybe this is my time to move indoors. So I looked into it, and before I knew it, I'm there.
It's your business.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
Well, from a yard sale to a boutique. When I was younger, I always wanted a boutique, and I knew that I wanted to sell nothing but like accessories, jewelry and purses and that kind of stuff. And then when I come in, I see all the consignment shops. It's like the ones that sell a lot of the furniture and the household goods and stuff like that. I said, now that's a good idea, because I usually have a lot of that kind of stuff left over. Nobody takes that anymore.
Yeah.
They switch out to nothing but clothes.
Yeah. So
it's like, I don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to have a boutique. I think I'm supposed to have a rolling food truck. I'm supposed to feed the masses.
Good food.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because I know when I retired in 2009, and I had said my best friend since 13, we were going to get us a food truck down south, and we were just going to roll through the communities and serve food to everybody, and everything. And then when I couldn't sell my house, it was like, well, I guess that's not my time.
Exactly.
Because I couldn't give up my security here to move 1,600 miles away.
Exactly.
Not knowing what I was going to get into. So now it's another thing. It's like, now what? So I keep telling my neighbor, I said, I'm going to get me a little truck and I'm going to have a rolling boutique. I'm going to just sell jewelry to everybody.
That sounds great. That sounds great. You know, whatever works.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that it's out there for us to do. And I really feel good. I'm glad I did this.
Mm-hmm.
And because you never know the ins and outs of
Right.
what you're going through until you do it.
You know, I was thinking, when I said that just gave me an idea. Like, you know, you should have a truck that says Indepanda, and then like when they have the big events downtown, you can have your big vendor spot. You could bring in extra customers, plus you could sell stuff right on the spot.
See? In a truck.
In a truck.
I
And
love
just
it.
roll it around. I mean, you know, every time there's a big event, just bring the truck.
It's a great idea.
Wouldn't that be something? Just put your little table.
Exactly.
I think that's a great idea. I just thought of that.
Yeah, I just may take you up on it. And back to the bricks. Here I come.
Yeah, that's what I said. Nick, you got a year to work on it.
to work on something like that. To do it out of my truck I already have.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, there was another lady a while back that started a food delivery downtown, because it was certain restaurants down there that didn't have delivery. And she had her personal van, and she would go and take orders from different restaurants,
Yeah.
and she was delivering. And I was like,
Yeah.
let's see, there's so many creative ideas out there.
Yeah.
We just, got to get out
Exactly.
there and do them.
Exactly.
And then when you have big events like that, back to the bricks, I mean, that's like 3-4 days party. Frank and
See?
Moof just had a big old car show. I mean,
Yeah.
there's all kind of things going on where they look up and here come Indepanda.
Yeah. Exactly.
They would know that name,
Yeah.
if nothing else. And just imagine all the new customers.
Exactly.
You'd have to get a bigger building. So
Bring
be
it on. Bring it on. But you're right. That may be something that I should be looking into, is putting a sign on the car.
Yeah.
And
Let people know who you are, because if you have to get a bigger building, it's so many empty buildings around here, it's crazy. I mean, you could have your
Beautiful.
pick of buildings.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even downtown.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. And every time I see the one down there with like the turrets, I know some people used to live there. It's like, I just wanted that house right there to turn it into something,
Beautiful houses.
Yeah, all
downtown.
those in Carriagetown are really
Yeah.
nice because they're old, and everything. But okay, back to this. I just get to run it off, So now, how long have you been? How long has the shop been open?
We opened 2011. Yeah, we opened 2011 June.
Oh,
Uh-huh,
so it's
and-
fairly new.
Exactly. So we've been there for going on 2 years now.
And I thought it had been there long because it's full. I thought it would.
Yeah.
You had been there a lot longer.
Yeah.
You have a good clientele, though. I guess because of the people that was before.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. The people before, they had a lot of say the church first ladies, that kind
Yeah.
of fab clothes and hats and so forth.
Yeah, those
So we
big
kind
hats.
and we kind of follow kind of like the same route, the same kind of clothing, high end. So I mean, I think we fill that niche. It's now we just got to get people in there,
Yeah.
But it's a high travel area.
But it's easy to pass.
It's easy
Your
to pass.
sign, because when I passed it so many times before, Mary Joyce kept saying, it's right up there on the corner. And I
Yeah.
just go by, boom.
I
I'm
know,
like,
I know,
don't
I
see
know.
it.
Exactly.
Need
You
to
do.
raise the sign up or something,
It needs another sign there, right there at the driveway. 'Cause
Yeah.
there was one there, and I think it kind of got destroyed.
Somebody probably ran over it.
Ran over it. So yeah, I'm thinking about getting. We're working on getting another sign put there.
Yeah.
So we won't have that problem anyway.
Yeah, you can get people in there because you got a lot of nice stuff in there. Like I said, you're going to outgrow that building real fast.
We hope so.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
we hope
Because
so.
when I went through, you took me around through there, it's like you have every room full.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of nice stuff. And it's just, you just need more space. You about ready for some more space.
Well, basically, right now we would really like the customers to keep coming. We don't have a lot of walking customers there,
Right.
but it's basically you have to know where it's at in order
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah, and because there's another business in there too, isn't it?
Yeah, we have Oakwood Realty is in there.
I think that's why the sign was said Oakwood's around here, because people go over there looking for you.
Yes, they went around the front. They just think everything happens through the front.
In the front, they pass right by that little side door.
Exactly.
We had to get you some flashing lights and all this
Yeah.
music. Soon as people pull up in the driveway, big fanfare.
Yeah. Well, through the summer, we've been having like little flea markets where we have other people to come in and set up their table, just to get traffic in there, activity, and that's worked out fine.
You have it out there in the parking lot?
Out there on the lawn, yes, with the tents and everything. So that has worked. We've had consignor tours.
Oh, okay.
Where, in fact, we've had 2 of those now.
That bring the other consigners over to see what you about?
Where we're usually the first one they stop off at. That's the first one.
Okay.
And it's like a busload of 45 women that will come to your store, and then they'd be on their way, because I think both times, once they went to Detroit area, and the last time they went to the Okemos Lansing area.
Oh, okay.
Which they have a lot of consignment shops in that area. So basically, they start out at my shop, and they have like 5 other shops that they go to.
Because I don't even know where the other shops are. It used to be one on Fenton somewhere that sold a lot of furniture and stuff like that. And then it was one in Fenton, but I think they closed down. So I don't even know where. I only know where 2 is right now.
There's quite a few in Fenton still. And they, like furniture and clothing. And if you like consignment shops, you've been to pretty much all of them.
I like thrift shops. I know that. Whenever they say sale, it's like, there I go.
That's a double sale.
That's a double sale. That's what I'm saying. My niece is the same way. She always posts pictures of her thrifting. She lives out east, and she'll post pictures. And I'm like, boy, I wish I could wear your clothes.
Yeah.
But so now, when if someone wanted to come in and like they wanted to set up a tour like that, who did they go to? Who do you go through to set up a tour like that?
Well, I have a young lady that's been working with me ever since we've been there. Her name is Michelle. And she actually go and get the buses. A lot of people do that where they go to the casinos.
Oh yeah.
But she's a dear friend of mine that sponsors those tours.
Oh, well, that's good.
She's very good at that.
Yeah. I never heard of that before, and that is a good idea to get around. Now, do they feed the people?
Well, we fed them at our store. In fact, that's the first place they come to between 7:45 and 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, so breakfast.
We got breakfast. We got that. We got the breakfast and the coffee and all. And then they go to the next shop, and I think there's some kind of refreshments. I'm not sure, but they have lunch. They go someplace wherever they are after they leave there, and they have lunch. And most of the shops that they go to offer them discounts, which is like 20%.
Yeah.
Sometimes more.
And then by the time they get to the lunch, they probably have cocktails.
Would you?
They be like, yeah, baby, drive on.
Exactly.
And then they bring the sales out. They be like, yeah, I want one of those.
Exactly.
They know what they're doing. That's too funny.
So we've had those kinds of things. We've had girls' night out, which is another good one. Like say on Friday, just introducing other women to what you're doing, and basically as a fundraiser. Churches do the same thing. So there's one lady that works with me as far as the churches at her church. So she said, well, I'm going to invite all of my members, and it's real cool. They come in there and they have the wine and the cheese and maybe a little wine if they're doing that.
Right. Then they
So-
can buy some church clothes and dress up Sunday. Be
Okay.
like, and then that's your advertisement. See, you be like,
Yeah.
girl, where you get that from?
Exactly.
You know, the name gets out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think it takes to become a consigner? You have to have special training, or I know you got to have a business degree, or how hard is it to become a consigner? Because it doesn't seem like it's that hard. But
Oh, it's
if you like the
not.
paperwork. I'm terrible at accounting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not the greatest, but as far as people that want to consign, basically it's just kind of ridding your closet, and they deciding, I think anything that's been in your closet a couple of years and you haven't worn it, it's time to get rid of it.
Yeah. That's why I have
I
so
mean-
many clothes every year, because I'm shopping all the time. When
Yeah.
I see those 80% sales,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, $4, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need it right now, but I'm sure I'll need it.
I think it goes way back when you didn't have those things.
Yeah, yeah.
And you wanted to go to a party and you didn't have. So now you just like, okay, I like this. I would wear it. So you buy it.
Buy it,
Yeah.
and then you may never get to wear it. Still, I got stuff in my closet now with price tags still on it.
Yeah.
And I know when we were younger, we were just talking about this other day. It's like it was 5 of us kids in the family, so you get like 1 pair of shoes for church and 1 pair for school,
Exactly.
and then you'd have your play shoes. And then the same
Yeah.
thing with your clothes. You'd have your church clothes, your school
Exactly.
clothes, and your play clothes.
Exactly.
So you made sure when you come home from school, you put on your play clothes.
Exactly.
You come home from church, you put on your play clothes. So then you only have so many clothes. The closets were only so big. You got to put 5 kids, closet
Exactly.
clothes in there. And now you just go crazy.
I know.
And I tell my son the same thing. He has as many clothes as I do, and he does not want to give up a t-shirt. So when we go to the yard sale, I get ready for the yard sale, I say, okay, let's go through your clothes. He's like, I don't have anything. I'm like, yes you do.
Yeah.
Pull that drawer out. You've got shorts galore, you've got
Yeah.
jeans, and your shirts, you got t-shirts with price tags on them.
See? Yes.
And I said, you haven't worn them. We got to give them up. If you don't give them up, we're going to donate them.
Yeah.
Because
Gotcha.
the consignment shops, a lot of them, they won't take men's clothes unless they're designer clothes. And we don't buy designer stuff like that.
See.
Not little t-shirts
Right.
like Abercrombie and
Yeah.
Air Apostle or whatever that name is. We don't buy it. We buy Walmart.
Right.
$7.50. So if we can't take them there like that, then we just put them in a sale. If we don't sell them, we take them over to Crossover Ministries. And I tell them, I said, this is going to somebody else can use them because you're not using them.
Yes.
Then you just make room for more stuff.
That's what we do.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Yeah. And who can break that cycle? Us.
I don't want to break it.
I know.
I like shopping. I say I'll never give up my credit cards. So now, speaking of credit cards, do you have credit card? Like, how do people pay at your shop?
Well, we basically, we do have the credit card, the credit card
Machine.
machine.
So it's like any other store. They can just cash check,
Exactly.
credit card.
Exactly.
Okay. Because I don't know if everybody know how it works. Because every time I mention a consignment shop, people are like, well, how does that work? And then, I explain. I said, well, you take your clothes in. Some places give you a limit to take in. Some says no limit. And, it got to be clean. Now, my one of my biggest issue is you might have so many people working. And when they go through your clothes, some of them are really picky, and then some of them let stuff go. And so then your stuff that they've picked through is better than this stuff over here. But then they take that stuff and you see it on the rack and be like, well, that shirt's dirty, or there's a spot over there. Now, how do you go through yours? Do you just have one person to go through yours to make that decision?
Well, sometimes we miss things, I mean, especially on some whites, and you can, but we miss them. But when we do find them, we take them off the rack. Especially if a customer finds it.
Yeah.
But normally we'll pick it up just through pricing it and putting it on hangers and so forth. We'll find those things, but once we do it, we got to take them off, or try and clean them. But we try to get everybody to bring their things in already free from spots and
Right. Because I hate when I go in and I see something like that and I'm going, look at this. And they let that slide.
I know.
Who was sorting clothes that day?
Yeah, exactly. Because I've seen, clothes that I've bought at monster auction kind of deal.
Right.
And you go through the pockets. People don't, and you hate to go through pockets and you find dirty Kleenex. It's like
you don't know what you're going to stick your hand in, and you're going to put rubber gloves on.
I know. So you have to be very careful, as far as going through them and making sure they're free from a lot of spots and damages.
Now I noticed too, some of the places like Plato's Closet. Their consignment is different in the sense that they buy your stuff right then.
Exactly.
Now they go on the computer. I don't know if they're looking up name brands or what they're looking up to come up with a price. And I remember when they first opened up, I took some purses over there. And usually I sell them in my yard sale, whatever. I was like, well, I'm taking a couple purses over here and see, because they was like, bring them over, we'll pay you right now. I was like, oh, for real? Okay, let's take these purses.
Okay.
And she went on the computer and everything, and she printed out this receipt, and she was like, I saw $23 on it. Now I brought in 10 purses.
Okay.
So I'm looking at the 23 going, okay, that's probably one purse. She wanted all of the purses for $23. I said, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So how do people decide? I mean, what are they looking for? Do you have a system like that where you look
how
up
to price?
Yeah, on how to price items?
Well, apparently there's a difference in buying them outright and pricing them. I try to stay away from buying things outright because first I'm a small business,
right,
and I do not have the funds to do that. And I'm thinking that in the city of Flint, don't quote me, but I'm thinking in the city of Flint, you have to do the consignment. I mean, the consigners. You can't buy things outright. But in Flushing, where I'm at, you can.
Yeah.
I just can't afford to buy things. I think they would get more if we could sell them for a higher price instead of, basically what we're doing at 60-40. What I do, I would have to actually buy it at the 40% of whatever I do it's worth.
So you just lost money right there.
Exactly.
You're supposed to get the 60. But I guess at Flint Township, because that's where the other place is, I guess they can buy stuff right now because that's what their business is revolved around. I mean, they have several online, and that's why I first seen it. And the guy that owns it was like a catering engineering student.
That's the one, Plato's
Closet. Yeah. And I had never heard of that before, so people was all excited. And I see people go out there all the time, but after that, it's like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how they were pricing stuff. And, there's some of the other stuff that you bring in, you just wonder, where do they come up with the prices? Because sometimes you seem like you priced that too low after you've taken your 60 out. I've got, $1.50?
Yeah.
I could have done better at my yard sale.
Excuse me. Yeah, there are some, and we usually go by the, I think, Walmart, Goodwill. All of them have a pricing schedule. If you're going to donate things to them, they will give you a criteria as to what these things would be worth. Say like a two-piece suit.
Okay.
You'd have to look at the is it wool gabardine, what quality fabric it is, and price it accordingly. So if you're talking about a two-piece suit that we could put on the rack for $25, even though you may have paid $200 for the suit,
right.
We have to go within that figure as to if we had to donate it, what it would be worth. And this is the price tags that we usually put on them. Dresses usually go from $18 to $20, just regular. And of course, summer things is probably not as as far as a two-piece suit and a two-piece summer suit, you could price a little different. So we're talking about $18, $20 for a summer suit versus a winter suit that we could $25 to $30 that we could sell it for. And then if they go into the three-piece suits, which we do have a lot of those,
and I don't hardly see those anymore.
You don't.
They just got rid of those.
Yeah.
Now, do you take suits that say like clothes that have been altered?
Yeah, we do. We do. And basically we leave that up to the customer to decide, because a lot of times they do buy things from me that they take it right to their seamstress, because it may be too long.
Right.
So, but they will buy it, and that answer your question.
Oh, well, my thing was, see, I some places, like, mostly when I buy suits or, dress slacks, I always have to put a hem in them.
Yeah.
And some places they won't take them if you hem them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They look at the seams, like if I have to run seam down the side or something or whatever. That's why I'll get stuck with suits that after I've altered them and I don't wear them, I can't get rid of them because they only altered to fit me. And then you take them to consignment shops and they looking at them like, So they might take the top, but they won't take the pants. Or, that breaks up the suit.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the customer again. You may find that same person that's the same size as you are.
Yeah.
And same length.
Or maybe they don't mind buying and it's been altered, because sometimes they're like, oh, you've been sewing on this, it's got, Because I always had trouble with slacks being too long, and Kohl's has been the only place that I can buy slacks and don't have to alter them.
Oh, petites?
No, just regular.
Regular?
That's the only store that I've bought dress slacks, and I didn't have to put a hem in them.
Oh, okay.
That's probably what hooked me.
Well, that's good.
They knew, because I get so sick of buying pants, the waist fit, the hips fit, and they're too long.
Yeah. Every
time. And when I started shopping there, it was just like I was in heaven, because I didn't have to do anything but put them on.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So anyways, now you had any contact information, that you want to give out anybody. You gave the address. So let's go through that again for everybody. Your address and phone number, contact, whatever.
Yeah, that's Independas LLC consignment shop, and that address is 5008 Flushing Road, and that's Flushing, Michigan. And phone number to the shop is, let me see, can I remember it? 810-820-6048. Is that right?
John, look at her card.
Yeah, but he's looking at the card. Yeah.
She got it right. She gets the gold star for the day.
She gets the gold star.
Since I hardly ever call that number.
Right.
So how often do you call your own shop or your own self? I mean,
Not often.
the other day I was filling out something and I typed in my cell number and I looked at it 3 times. I had it wrong. My own cell phone number. I had to get my own business card out to. That's it.
See,
Can't see what my address was.
Oh,
but I did get that phone number right. That's good.
So anyways, Barbara, thank you for coming in today, and I hope that everybody got enough information, so now we can get you some new customers, and we're going to get you that truck.
Yeah.
And next year, I'm going to expect to see you downtown.
Back to the
rolling in dough. Yeah, buddy.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I want everybody to make sure you go over and check out her shop. She's got a lot of stuff in there, and I've got pictures from that I took. We're going to post those also on Facebook.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Everybody stay tuned for Flaminpit Show Part 2. We have Mr. Farlon Randall coming on for Bangtown Productions. So in saying that, Flaminpit Part 1, and we're out.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Thank you.